Today I'm going to be talking about Facebook, and I actually made a new rule a few years ago where I could not add anyone unless they added me first. That means I couldn't suggest that they added me, I couldn't imply that they added me, I couldn't tell them to add me, none of that. And the reason was because I used to freaking just add everyone. Now Facebook has this thing called friends where once you add someone, they're your friend, but that's not really the case. It simply means that it's another profile that you've clicked accept on. Doesn't mean that this guy is actually your friend. And so you're going to get a lot of people who are acquaintances, maybe some that you even hate, that for whatever reason you've decided to add onto Facebook, maybe just to boost your friend count and show off how many friends you have. And in the process, now you have all these people that you kind of detest or who are mean to you throughout your life, who are now stalking you and judging you on your every move. And then in the long run, they're going to probably be judging you on your occupation once you get a job and comparing yourself to them. And it's like, why give this service to people that you don't really even care about? And so that's one thing. And some people deal with it in other ways. Some people just have such great lives and so many real friends that they don't even bother to differentiate. They just add everyone because at that point they've taken Facebook as more of a social scene, a business to promote whatever job or company they work for. Like their Facebook profile is no longer a personal profile. It is a advertising banner and network for their occupation. I've seen this in a lot of profiles as well. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. Back when I first discovered Facebook, you know, I was at the summer camp. At the end, they're like, oh yeah, write down your Facebook or write down your email. I'll add you guys all on Facebook. And like 80% of the room just went up and knew what to do. I'm like, what the heck is this Facebook stuff? And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to like, I didn't want to look lame or anything. But you know, there's a good deal of people who just walked out, but most people knew what was going on. And so I wrote down my email, and then once I got home, I registered for Facebook, found out what it was, and that's where it began. Initially, I added a whole bunch of people with no photos at all on Facebook, and I got a bunch of who are you sort of stuff. And I added a bunch of people who I didn't know or barely knew, and it was too much. Later on, I found out about friend count. Now, I heard about MySpace already. MySpace was like the big thing before Facebook. It was similar, but it was much more colorful and kind of customizable. Anyhow, you got this Facebook thing going on now, and you know, after I discovered it a couple years later, I realized about this friend count thing. And back then I was naive and a little bit superficial, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get as many friends as I can, and I guess I wanted to boost my friend count because then I would be popular or whatever, or I'd be cool. And that's not really the case, because there's a bunch of people who I know who have probably done the same thing, and that doesn't mean I view them as popular. It just means that they added every single person they could, even if they didn't know them on Facebook or they didn't know them in real life. And so I remember doing that, and I probably knew about 30 to 40 real people on Facebook and had about 300 friends. And then I started doing this. And so you can see how it was. You know, I was stupid back then and maybe a little envious of the people with like 3,000 friends. So then I started spamming. I added everyone, even if I didn't know them. As long as they were affiliated with my high school, I was like, that counts. And so I added all these people there. You know, I finally got a photo, so it wasn't like floods of messages asking, who are you? Or a lot of just pure out rejections. And so finally I got all these friends on Facebook. Friends, as I said. And I think I got to like 1,000. And my goal was like the cap, which was 5,000. And at 1,000, like something, 1,200 or something, I was like, you know what, this is so stupid. I don't know any of these people. Adding them on Facebook just makes it really creepy when I haven't met them in real life. In fact, if anything, I'm burning bridges with people before I even meet them, because now they know me as that creeper that added them on Facebook before they even met you in real life. And it's just really hard to, you know, fix, unless you like message them and establish some sort of rapport with them. It's just really hard to do. It just makes you sound like a creeper. And so, long story short, I stopped doing it. And then, fast forward a couple years in college, I straight out realized how stupid I was being. I was really, I wouldn't say really, but I was desperate for friends, and I always didn't really have a lot. So, you know, I realized I was just adding all these people that didn't really give a crap, that I didn't really connect with or have that much in common, who, you know, didn't really make that much effort to really connect with me or talk to me. And on top of that, you know, it was just weird. There's all these people, and I didn't know if they were, you know, making fun of me behind my back, or just being dark, or just me, you know, playing mind games with myself. And that's the sort of thing I had to deal with, you know. And so I realized, like, why add all these fools? And so I made this rule, like, don't do this anymore. You know, remove the people that you don't like, and stop adding people unless they add you first. And then there's still problems, because then you get those creepers or those people that you don't really like that much, but they requested you, and you don't know what to do. And I think I still haven't done it, you know. To this day, I still have all these acquaintances or people on Facebook. But I'm going to one day, just, if I really give a crap about Facebook anymore, just prune that list out, because it just doesn't make sense. Because it wasn't that long ago, less than a decade ago, when there wasn't really even mobile phones. There's no internet or social networking. And if you wanted to stay in contact with someone, you had to make an effort. You had to, you know, fly a freaking letter with a horse-drawn carriage and all that stuff, just to make plans with someone. And so, sorry, motion sensor went off. And so nowadays you have this crap where you can easily stay in contact with people, and it just opens the door for all these douchebags to add you. And for me, I think it's partially because I suck at telling whether or not these people are really nice or not. And partially because a lot of times it's just, you know, little things. Like, I don't really like that person, that, like, I always do initially, but then they start doing this stuff, and it's like, does he like not like me, or is he like doing a bunch of stuff behind my back, making fun of me? His body language and how he acts around me is sort of weird and kind of douche. It's douchey. Like, he's pretty much not even respecting me, and all these minor things. But again, they're like borderline, to the point where it's not blatant enough for me to call, okay, this guy is not someone I like, because I can't like literally like call them out on it. And so, you know, I'm still sort of working on this, but I set a rule for myself recently, which is kind of harsh, but because of the situations I run into, I'm just like, if it gets to the point where you have to think about it and it's borderline and you don't really love the person, but you don't really hate the person, then, you know what? If you have them on Facebook, delete them, and don't really, you know, just stop trying so hard. And so, yeah, that's my second rule regarding Facebook. And you know, a lot of people do it differently. There's people who have, you know, they work on TV shows, and they use their personal Facebook simply as a networking thing, and they will add everyone that they think is a good network establishment, regardless of who they are, or even if they may have bullied you in high school or whatever. And I don't know, it's just very lame in my opinion. especially for those people who actually post personal pictures on Facebook. It's like you are giving this guy a more open view of your entire life, your past, and probably your history and your future once you get a job. And you're letting this guy stalk you, maybe even do perverted stuff to, like, I don't know, jack off to your photos. I hear that's a frequent thing. And what else? Judge you based on your occupation. And it's outrageous in certain ways, and I really do think that it's very strange. And in certain ways, like, Facebook is very helpful. You know, when you have a school project or something due, or you want to keep in contact with someone who can help you in the future, and you really think is a nice guy, then you do what you do and you stay in contact. And if it wasn't for Facebook, there's a lot of school projects and stuff that would have been a lot harder. And there's a lot of people I met that I probably wouldn't have been able to contact ever again. But for the most part, you know, you gotta keep it on the wraps. There are people I've met in college who don't have a Facebook, still don't have one. In certain ways, they're better off for it, because they don't have to worry about all this fake crap or all these things where you think you have all these friends, but for them it's real. It's their life is legit real, because you meet people and you decide if they're your friends or your deep friends. And if they are, you exchange phone numbers or addresses and you stay in contact that way. There is no Facebook. There's nothing like that. And if you don't, you graduate college, you never see that person again. You're all off to different places, different states, different areas of the country, and the world's a large place. And with Facebook, it sort of just handicaps you, because it's like, yeah, you can never escape me, because I'll always be on Facebook and I can always contact you. And so it's a very strange thing, and it can definitely bloat your image. I think that even the people with, like, genuinely a large amount of friends, like genuinely, not from adding everyone, but from people adding them, these people, even these people, they have only like less than 10 real deep best friends, and then the rest are all just like fluff and so forth. And I think that's how it is. That's all I really wanted to say. I really don't know much about Facebook anymore. I don't know, some people delete it, I might delete mine. Anyhow, that's all I really wanted to say, and I'll see you guys later. Peace, and don't even try looking me up on Facebook and adding me. I like to keep my privacy. Thanks. Peace. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And if you do want to keep up in some way, you can follow my Twitter or subscribe to my YouTube. I won't be posting much on Twitter other than links to my latest YouTubes until I get enough subscribers or followers where it's worth doing so. But the best way is to hit the subscribe button below. It's free, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching this entire vlog. Leave a shout out if you watched the entire thing in the comments below. Peace.